Giant Condyloma by Umi Hani Vismayanti Lismana. Giant condyloma is a slow-growing cauliflower-like tumor in an anogenital region. It was first described by Professor Abraham Buschke and Dr. Ludwig Lowenstein in 1925 as a huge tumor that clinically resembles the condyloma acuminata and squamous cell carcinoma, but has differences in the histopathological appearance and biological activities. Human papillomavirus type 6 or 11 are the most common virus isolated from the patients with giant condyloma. Thus, the HPV virus type 6 and 11 are thought to be the causative factor of giant condyloma. Different with condyloma acuminata, giant condyloma is locally aggressive, destructive, and has a tendency to invade deeper tissue. Clinically, giant condyloma appears as a big verrucous tumor, while histologically it shows a low level of malignancy. Giant condyloma is a rare sexually transmitted disease with an incidence of 0.1% in the general population. It's difficult in estimating the disease prevalence because of its similarity with other diseases and its limited data. It is more common in male rather than female with the ratio of 2.7 by 1. The ratio increases in patients that are more than 50 years old with male versus female ratio 3.5 versus 1. The route of transmission is the same as condyloma acuminata. Giant condyloma can be transmitted through skin-to-skin sexual contact, autoinoculation, and contact with infected materials. Giant condyloma is commonly found in patients with immunodeficient states, such as HIV-infected patients and post-organ transplantation patients. The other risk factors are multiple sexual partner, smoking, anaerobic infections, local chronic inflammations. Human papillomavirus is thought to contribute in the pathogenesis of the disease. It is a double-stranded DNA virus belongs to papillomavirus family. The genome of human papillomavirus consists of 8 open reading frames, 6 early genes, E1, E2, E4, E5, E6, and E7, and 2 late genes, L1 and L2. There are 5 genera of human papillomavirus that infect humans: alpha papillomavirus, beta papillomavirus, gamma papillomavirus, new papillomavirus, and new papillomavirus. The alpha papillomavirus, beta papillomavirus, and gamma papillomavirus represent the largest groups of human papillomavirus. Based on the virus' ability to develop malignancy, the alpha papillomavirus genes are usually classified into low-risk cutaneous, represented by the light brown color, low-risk mucosal, represented by yellow color, and high-risk, represented by pink color. The human papillomavirus type 16, 18, 31, 33, 35, 39, 45, 51, 52, 56, 58, 59 are confirmed as human carcinogens. Almost all of the giant condyloma cases are related to human papillomavirus type 6 and 11 infection. Although in some cases, human papillomavirus type 16 and 18 can also be found. Because of its high prevalence in giant condyloma cases, human papillomavirus type 6 and 11 infections are thought to give contribution in the disease initiation and development. The patient's immunodeficient state is a big contributor in the disease development. However, the mechanism of how this low-risk human papillomavirus can cause giant condyloma in immunodeficient patients is not yet understood. Human papillomavirus infection usually causes chronic infection that mostly does not result in systemic phase. Human papillomavirus infection really depends in the differentiation process of keratinocytes. Human papillomavirus can infect keratinocytes in the epidermal basal layer if there is microtrauma that can expose the basal membrane and basal cells. Human papillomavirus enters the cells through the binding of its own protein with the heparin sulfate proteoglycan, or HSP, which is abundant in the surface of basal membrane and basal cells. The binding between L1 protein and HSP will result in the conformational changes of the virus capsid. The changes reveal the N-terminus of L2 in the furin cleavage region, which is thought to reveal the binding site for the cell receptor. As the virus enters the keratinocytes, it replicates slowly and does not cause a significant disruption in the host cells. As a result, it only causes a minimal inflammation in the host cells. In the early phase of infection, the viral oncogene proteins and viral copy number are expressed in a very low level. The immunogenic proteins such as L1, L2, and capsid are only expressed if the virus already reached in the superficial layer of the epithelium. This results in the difficulty of host immune system to recognize and eradicate the virus. The E6 and E7 proteins play a significant role in the development of tumor. The E6 protein can induce degradation of p53 tumor suppressant protein so that preventing the cells to enter a rest cycle or apoptosis. The E7 protein induces hyperproliferation by inhibition of PRB and activation of E2F genes. The pathogenesis of giant condyloma is not well understood. There is speculation that giant condyloma is started from a condyloma acuminata that develops slowly into a tumor and invades a deeper tissue. Decrease in the cell-mediated immunity in immunodeficient patients is speculated to cause the progression into giant condyloma. It causes the human papillomavirus to replicate fast so that the tumor becomes bigger and invasive. The incubation period of human papillomavirus infection is 2 to 3 months, but can also be up to 20 months. The lesion can start as a keratotic plaque, which slowly expands into cauliflower-like mass. The most common locations affected by giant condyloma are the surface of vulva, scrotum, penis, perineum, and perianal region. The other symptoms are pain, fistula, abscess, bleeding, pruritus, difficulty in walking, and defecating. Giant condyloma has a higher rate of recurrence and greater risk of developing into malignant tumor. The risk of giant condyloma transforming into malignant tumor is about 40 to 60%. The diagnosis of giant condyloma can be made by its clinical appearance and histopathological examination. Histopathologically, giant condyloma characterized by increasing mitotic activity, marked papillomatosis, thickened tumor edges, and invasion into deeper tissue. However, giant condyloma does not present the basal membrane infiltration, lymphatic invasion, angial invasion, and distant metastasis, which are the histological evidence of malignancy. The histopathological examination from biopsy tissue can be used to confirm the clinical diagnosis of giant condyloma and to eliminate the possibility of malignancy transformation. As you can see from the two pictures, the histopathological characteristics by giant condyloma are acanthosis of squamous epithelium, thickened tumor edges, coilocytosis, and parakeratosis without basal membrane involvement. This picture shows the histopathological characteristic of giant condyloma in the axis. Picture A and B, superficial hyperkeratosis of epithelium with coilocytosis. Picture C and D. The management of giant condyloma is challenging because of its huge size, deep local invasion, and the high recurrence rate. The surgical excision remains the gold standard in the management of giant condyloma. Comprehensive tumor excision is the main recommendation because it has a high success rate and low risk of recurrence. However, in patients with relatively small tumor, the management of giant condyloma by cryotherapy with or without adjuvant therapy is effective. The other treatments of giant condyloma are cryosurgery. It uses liquid nitrogen given using spray gun. The spray gun is directed from 90-degree angle at 1 to 2 cm distance from the tissue target. The extreme temperature promotes tissue injury by ice crystal formation within cells, vascular thrombosis and stasis, release electrolytes and toxins. Interferon alpha has antiviral, anti-proliferative, anti-tumoral, and immunomodulatory effects. Can be systemic, inhalational, and topical. The topical interferon does not penetrate stratum corneum, so it is not efficacious. Podophyllitoxin is an antimitotic agent that interferes viral replication by inhibiting tubulin polymerization then preventing spindle formation. This form leads cells arrest and metaphase, and cell cycle disruption that triggers necrosis of HPV-infected host cells. The 0.5% concentrated cream of podophyllitoxin applied twice a day, 3 consecutive days followed by 4 days discontinuation, repeated until resolution or maximum 4 weeks. 5-fluorouracil or 5-FU is an antiviral agent, an uracil analog that inhibits thymidylate synthase. The 5-FU topical 5% self-applied 1 or 2 times a day for 6 weeks. Intralational injection 3 mg per milliliter concentration once a week for maximum of 6 weeks. Imiquimod. These drugs upregulates TNF-alpha, interferon alpha, beta, and gamma, decreased HPV DNA or mRNA production, and result to regression of warts. Self-applied topical cream 2.5%, 3.75%, and 5% cream, applied overnight 3 times a week until full or maximum of 16 weeks. Trichloroacetic acid or TCAA, a keratolytic agent, a chemical cautery that erodes the skin and mucosa, causes disruption of infected epidermal cells and then growth of new healthy cells. Avoid application to the surrounding normal skin, repeated once a week until clearance. The prognosis. One of the challenges in the management of giant condyloma is its high recurrence rate. It also has a higher chance to transform into malignancy, 30% to 70%, especially in patients with HPV type 16 and 18 infection. Therefore, post-therapy follow-up is really important in patients with giant condyloma. That's all. Thank you.